Welcome back. We are now on step 4 of creating the Pace Race board game, which means we've made it to the 10:30 to 11:20 morning session of the Pace Institute. You'll notice that each step of the Pace race, by the way, with the exception of the initial step, is connected to a specific session of the Pace Race. So we'll just go through in this video again with instructions on how to complete step 4. Now, step 4 is, you'll notice immediately, is very similar in instructions to step 2 and step 3, because basically we're following the same methodology, again with slight variations as we go around the track and make the course. Really, the only thing that's different is the content of each of the obstacles and the bonuses and the scenery, which is determined by the content of the sessions that you attended and the squares you create as a result. So let's just go into step 4. Step 4 is a course correction, right? Step 3 was the first turn, right? And step 3, things took a turn. And step 4, we're going for a course correction. So overview, there is another thing that is uncertain in real life: NASCAR, entrepreneurship, education, and Newtonian physics. It is that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, where there's opposite and maybe equal reaction. So in an attempt to model this perhaps not so truism, we're going to continue building our game board as we did in step 2, but we're going to use instructions we created for, that's a typo for step 2. Right, so I'll fix that in a minute. So I'm still building this, obviously, as we go along. I'm still building this exercise itself. So for step 4 instructions, first thing is, again, to take a post-it note from the stacks to the left that corresponds a color to the content area of the panel you attended during the 11:30 to the 10:30 to 11:20 section of the Pace Institute. So you can go over to the schedule, say 10:30 to 11:20. Let's just do research, refocusing university landscapes on women. So let's say you attended that one by Dr. Annette Finley Crosswhite. Then you would pick a research is lavender. You would pick a lavender note, and again, it corresponds. And you would drag it from the stack, and you would put it, there, because again, the post-it notes were going in and whatever, and we're creating a series of lanes that they all sort of correspond to each other. I'll put these back on the stack so that other people can use them tomorrow, right? And then so step 2 of the instructions is we just did that. Take the post-it note, place it adjacent to another of the same color and track, and then step 3, we get to roll the 6-sided dice again, and hopefully, a 5. I was going to say, please don't let me get another 2. If you've been watching these videos, as I'm sure you hopefully haven't been, you'll notice I've been getting 2 slots. So we get a 5, right? So we rolled a 3 or 4. No, if you rolled a 5 or 6, we're going to create a bonus space. Okay, so we're going to create a bonus space, and we go to the bonus instructions. And the bonus instructions here are all exactly the same as the bonus instructions they were for step 2. So what is your primary takeaway from the session you attended? What's the primary takeaway? And again, I've not yet seen this. I'm doing this in advance of the institute itself. So I haven't really seen Dr. Annette Finley Crosswhite's talk. So I'm just going to say, for this sake of creating an example, my primary takeaway, if I could spell, I'd be dangerous. My primary takeaway, and I'll put an exclamation point, right? So basically, again, you don't need to, if you take notes, what is the thing that you really stands out in your notes? If you don't take notes, what's the thing you remember from the talk? Because again, you should be doing this, ideally right after the talk, or maybe even during. So my primary takeaway, we've done that talk. Okay, so we're doing the bonus instructions, right? Takeaway. Click here to roll Google 6-sided dice. The number determines the amount of the bonus. So, okay, we'll click here to roll it, and we'll roll again, and we'll get a 5. 2 5s in a row. We're on a roll, right? So that's the number of the bonus. And so this bonus, this will affect the attribute you chose when you created your vehicle in step 1. So if you created, in step 1, if you watched that video, I created an endurance vehicle. And so I'm just going to say endurance plus 3. Plus 5 rather, endurance plus 5, because that's what it did, and they were done with that. Now it just struck me that maybe you didn't do step 1, you started with step 2. That's fine. In step 1, it said to to create a vehicle that is, that corresponds to what you think is your greatest strength as an entrepreneur. Is it horsepower? Do you have a good startup speed? Do you get things moving really quickly or things like that? Is it agility? Can you pivot or switch directions as need be? Or is it endurance? Do you have a stick with it power? Do you just stick with things? And so I chose endurance when I made my vehicle. And that's why. All right, I will see you in step 5, which is